Hi everyone, welcome to Talking Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. There's always more news on our website, myjoyonline.com. I have to say that at the beginning so that I don't forget. And you can follow us at Joy Prime TV on our social media handles, at Joy Prime TV on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook as well. So let's begin with the maiden edition of Spark Up Summit, where the Trade Ministry has disclosed that it's going to disburse 282 million cedis. In fact, it has started disbursing that amount to industries affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Deputy Minister of Trade, Herbert Kwapa, made the disclosure at the summit aimed at unlocking Ghana's investment potential. There's more from that event.
82 million cedis to businesses to help them recover from the impact of COVID-19. Speaking at the maiden edition of Spark Up Summit, he indicated that his outfit will fast-track the execution of some reforms.
To emerge strongly from the havoc of the pandemic and restore the impressive trajectory of foreign direct investment, the ministry has accelerated efforts to build industrial parks and special economic zones across the country. The Ministry of Trade and Industry has also established business resource centers across the country to provide relevant business venture information and technical resources to private sector investors. We have also established joint business councils with some African and European countries to provide ministerial level support for driving investment between Ghana and partner countries. Under the Ghana COVID-19 Alleviation and Revitalization Enterprises Support, the Ministry of Finance has graciously allocated 282 million Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Trade and Industry to pursue interventions for the revival of an active trade and industry sector. Light manufacturing, agro-processing, import substitution, automotive, export and pharmaceuticals will be the focus areas of this intervention.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, is calling for partnerships to monetize assets to benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Africa is very well endowed, but unfortunately we export our raw materials and then import the finished goods out of our raw materials we export. And I believe that the AFCFTA gives us a great impetus to change that whole dynamic. And once again, I would like to say that the inspiration from the President of a Ghana beyond aid resonates loudly on the African continent.
Well, next to the assessment of Ghana's economy by ratings agency Moody's, is kept our credit score at B3 and left our economic outlook status at negative. That's after its assessment of our economy, and it's based on our ability to pay back our debts in time and threats to our finances. George Rafi has this update.
Of some economists that with the pickup in growth, that should have impacted on Ghana's outlook review. However, the rating agency argues that because of the country's rising debt, which they don't see the situation improving anytime soon, it decided to leave the negative outlook unchanged, keeping this as more of a warning that they don't see things improving anytime soon. On the B3 credit rating, which is more of one level just below junk status, Moody's maintained that it is also not convinced about measures being taken by government to improve its financial position to meet its debt obligations going forward. According to Moody's, it is particularly worried that it doesn't see the situation improving post-pandemic because of the high gross borrowing requirement and ongoing liquidity challenges. The development could mean that Ghana's cost of borrowing on the international market may not be coming down anytime soon if investors want to rely on the concerns raised by Moody's in its assessment. Private businesses would also not be left out, as this development could also impact negatively on their cost of borrowing if they should turn outside for some credit support. According to the 2021 budget, government is setting aside some 35 billion Ghana cedis as interest payments on loans.
Our final story, and it's actually some good news. Ghana could be making $1.5 billion from the mining of lithium. Now, mining firm IronRidge has discovered significant quantities at Ewoya Asopon. My colleague, Richard Kojinakon, has been speaking with the exploration manager of IronRidge and filed this report.
Test work confirms a wire concentrate near Saw Pond produces high purity battery grade lithium hydroxide monohydrate. The Australian company has been prospecting for lithium for some months, and they've announced significant quantities of lithium deposit has been found. Exploration manager at IronRidge Resources Limited, Ian Williams, explains the company has been prospecting for lithium at the Oya concession for months. He explains the level of activity ongoing at the concession.
This is where we collect the surface data and information about the geology. And this prospecting permit allows us to do all this work, but no mining. We have completed a scoping study, and that's all. It's a scoping study. It's not even a feasibility study, where we look at our footprint when we announced a mineral resource of 14.5 million tons in 2019, end of 2019. And the scoping study is an indication of what could be there. It is not a valid financial statement or an economic statement. It's just an indication. And that scoping study has a total revenue of $1.5 billion. But that's total revenue. That's not profits. That doesn't take into account expenditures, doesn't take into account any of the fees, taxes, and processing costs and things that have to be taken into account.
Ian Williams tells Joy News the company will soon approach government to go through the processes to secure a mining permit to begin the mining of the mineral.
The prospecting will continue indefinitely, or for the continuation of this license period, which is another 3 years. Because we have found this particular deposit, but we are still continuing to add to it by moving our prospecting outwards. So we expect prospecting to continue. So we intend to approach the government of Ghana hopefully this year, but it is subject to a successful feasibility study.
The company says it's employed a huge number of the residents in its operations. Principal geologist of the company, Abdul Razak, also speaks about the uses of the lithium.
The people we have employed or engaged on these prospect lances are all coming from the Mfansima municipality. And I think in terms of employment, we are doing better with the communities. Currently, we've engaged about 220 people working here, and we have about 50 professionals working at the moment. Some are consultants, some are contractors, some are permanent workers we are working with. Lithium is being used for batteries, like mobile phone batteries, laptop batteries. Currently, the world is phasing out from using the combustion vehicles like petrol or diesel, and the world currently want to go into electric vehicles. So I think the lithium is going to add up to the energy space.
Municipal Chief Executive from Fantiman, Kenneth Isuman, dismisses claims that government has sold 150 billion of lithium deposit at Saw Pond. He says the prospecting of the company has not even ended for anybody to put value on the purported mineral.
The misinformation in the media space that the government of Ghana has sold our deposit, lithium deposit worth $150 billion to IronRidge Resources of Australia is false. Nobody has even quantified or valued the deposit of lithium in the areas they are talking about. The IronRidge Resources is still prospecting.
The company IronRidge Resources Limited